Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you, the Contrarians listeners. This is released on Christmas Day. It's our Christmas Day episode, our treats for y'all under the Christmas tree. So, of course, it's The Exorcist III. As we've been doing, spacing them out on holidays, first Halloween, then Thanksgiving, and now Christmas. And then we'll have to figure out, get creative in January and February. But our commentary track on the Exorcist franchise that we owe to y'all here today to tackle Exorcist 3, which of course I'm very excited about because I think this movie fucking rules, despite its divisive score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is 58%, and the audience score, Julio, is 57%.
Yeah, not even the popcorn bucket came to fight for The Exorcist 3. Do you think it's just because it's not like the first one or the second one?
Just people weren't willing to give George C. Scott a chance, man.
No, they're like, I want Reagan in a good movie again.
Oh, God.
Not going to happen.
Well, also, what do we say? It's 13 years after the fact. So it, maybe people just weren't. And let me be like, spoiler alert on the premise of this movie. Whatever people weren't expecting, I don't think it was that. It's this movie goes for it in many ways, and it's understandable that some people it didn't work for, but I am a huge fan of it.
How many times have you seen it?
2, 3, somewhere in that range. Yeah,
but always a theatrical.
Yes. Is there a different cut?
Oh yeah, there's a director's cut. That is, it's funny because, okay, so I have it up on Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime has it listed as Exorcist 3 The Legion, but then it also has Exorcist 3 The Legion Director's Cut. And I was under the impression that The Legion is the name of the Director's Cut. So who the fuck knows? There's 10 different versions of the first Exorcist, and there's at least 2 different ones for Exorcist 3, but the director's cut is very, very different. I know this because our friend John Amenta from The Pine did an episode on the director's cut a while back, and it was after I watched the movie. And it basically, I guess I'll tell you about it as we go through the movie. There's just basically one major thing that changes. That and the ending. The ending is different too. But no, I'm pretty sure that we're both looking at the same thing because our runtime is 149, right? We agreed on that?
The runtime is 149.57.
Okay, 149.53. I'm pretty sure it's the same.
I would hope that massive differences wouldn't be in the way of 4 seconds. So,
well, I'm talking about whole scenes replacing other scenes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so we'll find out, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I think we're on the same page.
Okay, so Legion is the director's cut.
Right, but the one I have pulled up here is Exorcist 3, The Legion, and then the other option I had was Exorcist 3, The Legion, in parentheses, director's cut.
Oh, fascinating. Okay. Well, I think we'll figure it out as we go along here. But yeah, I'm on Peacock right now, but I'm ready to go, Julio, whenever you are.
I am ready. Let's do this.
All right, let's take it in 3, 2, 1, play.
So what made you watch The Exorcist 3 finally?
I think I just read something on the internet. I don't know. I came across something that made it sound pretty fascinating. And friend of the podcast, Reed Lansford, is a big proponent of it. And I remember watching it on Peacock for the first time, actually, a few years ago at Halloween, because it was like on the main splash for their horror movies page. And so I was just like, why not? Under 2 hours. And afterwards, I was like, holy shit.
You can make an Exorcist movie that's not the original and have it be good. We're not spoiling our opinions on this movie because I think anybody that's listened to the show for a while knows that we both like it. But I've only seen it the once.
Back in DC here. And the stairs.
Getting the fan service out of the way pretty early.
There we go. General Patton.
Whatever his name is in Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah, he's quite good in that.
He's so much younger, though.
He was a handsome man in that movie, too.
Yeah, very animated. I wonder, do you always remember your first George C. Scott movie? That's the one that just is emblazed in your mind.
Father Karras there. There we go. See, Exorcist 2 not once used Tubular Bells. And we're, less than 2 minutes into this, and we're already firing up the classics. But there we learned very quickly through it. That was either a primitive Photoshop or the picture they actually took of him and Jason Miller to establish that George C. Scott here. What's his name? It's Kinderman, Lieutenant Kinderman, and he were friends.
Okay, but that's... I mean, we talked about this when we did the first movie, the commentary for the first movie. That is not the case in the first movie. They meet once, and then that's it.
Yeah.
This movie posits that they were besties for a while.
Oh, that's right. Blatty actually directed this one. Because a lot of this shit here, like these static, ominous shots, these are the things that he wanted in the original that got put into the, the version you've never seen.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. Jesus has awoken.
Blatty went, fine, I'll do it myself.
There we go. You asked about, though, your first George C. Scott movie. And, of course, hilariously enough, as Ed Flanders hits the screen, child of the 90s who grew up watching the things I did on television, the first thing I always think of with George C. Scott is the episode of The Simpsons where the film festival episode with the football in the groin. Do you know what I'm talking about, Julio?
No.
Oh, man, come on. There's a film festival. It's the crossover episode they do with Jay Sherman, the critic, because Sam Simon did that cartoon as well. And the big part is one of the, there's Harry Carey Jr. back on the Contrarians again. One of the films that was done locally was Hans Moleman, and he just got hit in the dick with a football and just went like oink and made like there it is. That was the sound it made. And
I think you've told me about this.
And it shows the audience, and Homer is the only person that responds, and he is like, he falls out of his chair laughing like it's the funniest thing he's ever seen. And so the thing is, like, Mr. Burns tries to buy the film festival and he loses. And then so the end of the episode was like 30 seconds left. It goes to that year's Academy Awards. And Mr. Burns, like, he's in the crowd and he talks about, my film ought to win because I bought everyone here. And then it's like, and the Oscar goes to George C. Scott for man getting hit by football. And then it shows George C. Scott getting hit in the dick with the football, and he goes, my groin, and then falls over, and that's the end of the episode.
And that was him doing the voice.
Oh, I don't know about that, but that's always just what I think of. Years ago, someone made an amazing faux Criterion cover for Football in the Groin starring George C. Scott.
Well, I've never seen Patton, and I actually... Did I watch Strangelove before I watched this one? I think so. I think I did. So,
well,
and
the deal
I can't
is
think
he's
of any...
very funny in Strangelove, and
yeah,
not
he was
necessarily here.
A scene stealer. So I think maybe that's my George C. Scott, his character in Doctor Strangelove. And I know he's in like a lot of stuff. He's a well-known actor, but I guess
about to say you should probably see Patton at some point.
Man, war movie, old-timey war movie. How'd you like that POV shot of Father Karras falling down the stairs?
It was very full motion video PC game. What was that, like Night Trap? One of those games.
So did you remember
young Kevin Corrigan alert?
Oh.
Hey, Father, what do you want from me?
Man, it's a child.
He really is.
Well, do you remember when you were the first time you watched it? Did you figure out right away that, with that opening, that they were going to bring back Father Karras somehow? Because I know Jason Miller's in the credits, but it could have been a flashback or something.
It took me 2 times of watching this to kind of figure it all out, but the first time, no. Because the main thing I'd always heard is like, Brad Dourif's the bad guy in it, which he is, but there's some complexity there.
And they just keep going for the hits, or the hit, I guess.
Oh, man.
Is that all we see of Corrigan? That's it, right? He doesn't come back.
I'm pretty sure that's it, yeah.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
No, I know why I watched it originally, because I was watching something that had a countdown of the scariest moments in, movies. It might have been an AMC thing. No, it was a Shudder. That's why I watched this the first time. I had known Reed had spoken highly of it, and I had read praise, but there's a moment in this that was in like the top 100 movies, like that Shudder did on some countdown. And unfortunately, because I saw it, it kind of spoiled it, but it had me intrigued.
Oh man, that sucks. I knew about the jump scare because you had told me about it, and I've seen other people mention it, but I didn't know what it was. So,
oh yeah.
Anytime I remembered, I would like put my guard up, and I think I figured out that it was coming when it finally happened, but I had no idea what was going to happen. And these guys, I thought they were going to be a bigger part of the movie. His team.
And very important to call out, coming back to the contrarians here. I don't even know his name, but I'll have to look it up right now. Let's wait for it. He gets a line.
He's got wit.
All right, there he is. Balrog from Street Fighter.
Holy shit, you're right. Soon to be replaced by... Who's playing Balrog in the new one? Is it 50 Cent?
Yeah.
Man. Does that mean Fiddy is going to be in the next Exorcist movie?
You never know. Still don't think that Street Fighter movie's real, but that's a different topic for a different day. I forgot how horrendously non-PC George C. Scott is in this.
And yet, very lovable.
He is.
In like less than 5 minutes, I think, of screen time, he's shown much more character and personality than
anyone in
Richard
Exorcist
Burton.
2?
Yeah, specifically Richard Burton. But yes.
I'm so curious what the conversations were about, specifically with the cast of this. Did Brad Dourif win an Academy Award, or was he just nominated?
For this?
No. Wasn't he nominated for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Oh, that sounds about right. Definitely not for Alien Resurrection, which is a shame.
He was nominated. Louise Fletcher won, and Jack Nicholson won. Forgot that. That movie dominated. Milos won. It won the big four. It won picture, director, actor, and actress, and screenplay.
Just Brad not supporting Dourif. Actor. Who won supporting actor?
Brad Dourif just there with his hand in his dick in his hand. Excuse me. Let's see here. George Burns for the Sunshine Boys.
Oh man, we're already on their movie date.
Yeah, he wants some lemon drops. God damn it! My dad had a secretary when we lived in Ohio that I guess I should say my dad's secretary when we lived in Ohio always had a bowl of lemon drops on her desk as best I can remember it. It might have been circulating candy, but I always remember lemon drops being there. And they're not really anything I've circled back to in my adult age, but I remember as a kid I couldn't get enough of them. Lobby cards there, Julio.
Yeah. Did you see like the girl by the popcorn machine as they're exiting? Like she's almost out of popcorn and she doesn't care.
Nope.
Extremely critical of cinema operations.
It looks like well, especially, here's the problem too. It's rainy, so ticket sales are going to pick up.
Yeah, just gonna be caught unawares. People are gonna be waiting for their popcorn. Terrible, terrible way to run this business.
Now they're having a good laugh together here about his mother-in-law.
So this dude, does he just like priests? Like that's he connects with priests. He feels he can open himself. That's why he just has his closest connections are with men of the cloth.
Well, see, here you're already starting one of the interesting conversations about this movie. I don't know necessarily about George C. Scott's character, but the idea of this homicide detective investigator, that buddies up with priests because Larry King. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Very quick Larry King cameo. Because why not? This place looks like it'd have really good oysters. Just thinking right now. But the idea of this guy and the hell on earth that he sees wanting to be friends with the man of God, just the idea of that.
That makes sense. Do you think that started after he met Father Karras?
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Like
so
I would
change his life.
Yeah. Because see, just right there alone, if we want to say that, it can do a little bit more work than the first Exorcist did to establish not necessarily a relationship, but why he's so important to him.
I mean, maybe, it's not that they're changing history, that it's just that he tells the lie that him and Karras were closer friends than they really were.
Yeah. It's possible.
How would this guy know? He wouldn't know, so he just tells them, oh yeah, we went to the movies all the time. It's created this fantasy.
The lighting of the scene is quite immaculate. Needs more AI.
You don't know it, Alex, but they're actually sitting at a Denny's.
It melds universes. About 3 tables down, Tim Roth is about to rob the place.
Oh no. Who stands up to Tim Roth?
Dude, George C. Scott could beat the dog shit out of Tim Roth, man.
You would just look at him.
Yeah.
You sure you want to do this, son?
Son, you don't want to do this. We're talking over it and having fun, but what he's describing to Father right now is terrifying stuff about what he saw in the crime scene this morning.
We didn't see it. He saw it.
Yeah.
And so you would think that that's the movie telling you, don't worry about it. We're just going to tell you. We're not going to show you. But then as the movie goes on, we actually get to see plenty of gruesome stuff. This is not as bad. I mean, like I said, I've only seen it once. This is not as gruesome, as gory as the first one, right?
I mean, I don't remember anything in the ways of the fucking neon green projectile vomiting, and there's certainly no crucifix in the cooch or anything like that.
Well, my main takeaway after the first time I watched it was that this was a nice pivot. Where it's like the second movie doubled down on the religious side of it, which we'd kind of had seen enough of that in the first movie. So the first movie showed you, okay, this is how the doctors are going to try to handle it, and then this is how the church handles it. And then the second movie decided, okay, well, do you like that church stuff? We're going to give you a lot more of that and just backstory. And then this one is about how the police handles it. it's it's a lot more interesting. Obviously, it's all in characters, right? Because if the Richard Burton character had been interesting in the second movie, then I would have gone wherever he wanted to go. But he was boring. Everybody else around him was boring. So didn't really capture me. But here, I think even if you removed the connection between the George C. Scott character and Father Karras, I think it's still an interesting character to follow. Because of what you just said. Because, it's a man whose job forces him to watch horrors on a daily basis almost. And so he gravitates towards some sort of relationship with religion.
It's I maintain probably the most interesting character in Prometheus is Noomi Rapace because of her struggle with, not her struggle, but her perseverance of her faith in the face of all the shit she sees in that movie.
Yeah, it's this one, if I remember correctly, by the time we get to the end, it's not like this is the story of how George C. Scott found God.
No.
I think it's the story of how his worst fears are confirmed. He's like, yeah, you're alone. There's no help.
Hell of an overcoat he's rocking there.
Yeah. So obviously, the first time that you're watching, you don't know this, but now if you've seen it at least once, you know, oh, he's checking for the trademark of the serial killer.
Yes. Who we will come to know here before too long.
Checks out.
Yep, he's dead.
Get the shit out of my face. That guy that was all the way in the background, one of his cops, I was like, who does he remind me of? And at first I thought he was a guy from Inside the Actors Studio, but it's not that. He reminds
Lipton.
me of Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder. Les Grossman.
Outstanding.
You ever gone to confession, Alex? Was that part of your upbringing? Is that something that you wonder if you ever will do?
I'm good. If I was raised with it, maybe, but I was thinking that 30 Rock where Alec Baldwin's trying to have sex with Selma Hayek, as any person would. And she has to go to mass and, you know, he's trying to impress her and stuff. So she says, well, we have to go to confessional now. And the whole joke is he's in there for like 10 minutes. And it keeps like, it's like the, you know, the time lapse thing of you just hear like the end of a sentence and it goes to something else. And then the priest runs out of the booth. He's like, I can't take anymore. No, you know, when we went to church when I was a kid, we went, the denomination was Lutheran. And then the last few years we were going to church. It was non-denominational. It wasn't like, you know, we weren't like speaking in tongues or anything. It was just kind of like very just matter of fact. So because it was never really part of that, you know, my going to church, you know, part of the proceedings, whatever, processions, I don't know what they fucking call it. When I would see it on TV, it would be like something foreign to me. But I can tell you it's not something I ever was particularly itchy to do.
But there is something to I mean, I've done it plenty of times. I can't think of the last time I had confession, and I don't think I ever need to again. But like, if I ever reach the point where I need to confess something to God, if I get to that point, I'm not gonna need like an intermediary. I think I would just
Oh yeah,
find
exactly.
a quiet place and do it on my own. But there's something to the process, and those little cubicles, the way that they're built, and the little sliding door, and it's not necessarily that they're creepy, but they're intriguing. I think there's like an air of mystery to the whole thing, and so
Yeah.
as a ritual, I can appreciate it. Having done it, when I was a teenager, as a kid, like a lot, it's some of the mystery, or of course, it's gone. After a while, you kind of figure that if the priest inside the confessionary doesn't really care that much,
Mm-hmm.
you just get your penance, like the 2 Our Fathers, 3 Holy Spirits, or whatever, and then Hail Marys, 3 Hail Marys, and then that's it. And so after it's happened a few times, you're like, is he even listening? Do you just get the standard set of prayers and then you just go? But definitely, they're very cinematic, as spaces, as seen in the movie, in the scene that just happened before, the little thing sliding, and it's kind of claustrophobic in there, so it's kind of cool. Now, this, Alex, do you remember thinking, man,
love it?
They're gonna kill the priest?
Smoking in the hospital.
Yeah.
Did I think they were going to kill the priest? I honestly, the first time I watched this movie, I was so like intrigued with how different it was already that I wasn't quite sure what direction it was going to take.
Never good when there's a decapitated Jesus in front of your room.
See, I love that shit. So like this movie, that's just part of it. It feels so modern, like its take on it, but then it would have like those, 70s touches there of the close-ups and the like that type of shit. Yeah, without seeming too like cartoonish.
I think it's a cool way of differentiating like the real world that this guy is, this cop moves around in, and then the really weird, crazy supernatural shit that is circling him.
I agree.
But don't you see that's a young Les Grossman? I mean, that guy's not
I
Tom
can see
Cruise,
that,
but
yeah.
I think I was already fearing for the priest's life by the time that we saw him in the hospital. So I was like, man, they're so cute together.
Yeah.
This is how you hurt me.
Uh-oh. So they've built a crude replica of a confessional booth, and they were trying to figure out how it happened, and then they just found out rather, that the fingerprints don't match and 2 different people committed these murders.
So that is because he's basically possessing different people, right?
Yes.
That's what's happening. He resides mostly inside Father Karras, but whenever he wants to kill, he just, I guess, goes body hopping.
Brad Dourif? Chucky?
Yeah. I guess maybe not necessarily body hopping. I think it's more like he controls them like puppets.
Yeah.
It's more accurate. Okay, I think this is the one scene that I don't like in the movie, Alex. The really weird dream sequence.
This is kind of the thing the movie's infamous for, because, as we're about to see, there's a very odd assortment of cameos. That this literally the first time I saw it, I was just kind of fucking with it and rolling along, and I was like, okay. And then, as we'll see here in a second, George C. Scott strolling along. A young Kate McKinnon there. And then, yeah, I had to rewind that. I was like, is that fucking Fabio?
Why?
Exactly.
Sam Jackson, is that him?
I don't remember that.
Gotta look it up.
But I remember Magic Johnson's in here too.
Do you think that what happened was originally it was a William Friedkin cameo, and then he dropped out at the last minute, so they got Fabio?
Excuse me, not Magic Johnson. It's Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson in The Exorcist III. But his voice was dubbed over. I get what they're going for with this, but I don't care for it at all.
Yeah, the Patrick Ewing one is particularly baffling. Where he's the angel of death.
Mm-hmm. Especially the older I've gotten, and I might have said this on this show if we ever had like an infamous dream sequence come up, but the less patience I have for that, for the dream sequences, because sometimes it feels like filler. It feels like also like the way that people talk about voiceover. That's how I feel about dream sequences. We're like, oh, voiceover is just so cheap because you just are telling people what they need to know. And I'm like, that's what you do with dream sequences. This type of dream sequences is like, oh, you want to convey the confusion and the whatever. Oh, you're just gonna do a lot of weird shit on a dream sequence, and that's it. You did it. Like, I'd rather have George C. Scott sell me that confusion on his face. Which I know he can do because I've seen him in this movie.
Yeah, because you've seen the first half hour of this movie so far.
Yeah. This is the thing, because we've seen him interact with his friend, in at least two major sequences. We know that he's destroyed, even though on the surface right now he's keeping it together somewhat.
Yeah, dude, he's so good here. Like see how he's teared up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Les Grossman cop back there. If we remade The Exorcist 3, you could definitely get Mark Maron to play that guy.
Do you think Maron would go for such a small character, though?
Oh, man. Poor Patton.
Maron would be like, can I just be the cop? Can I be George C. Scott? Who's going to tell him?
So metal, dude.
And they're like, but wait, there's going to be more.
That's it?
I don't know if you've noticed, detective, but we covered part of the wall with a plastic bag. It's perfectly framed there, waiting for its reveal.
I wondered why that trash bag was up there. Oh, Merry Christmas.
There you go. It is a Christmas movie, even if it's not spelled correctly.
This is one of two films we've covered on the Contrarians where Tim Dillon plays a police officer.
What's the other one?
Joker 2. He just looks like that dude I was telling you
Oh.
about in Joker 2.
The other thing is, like, I mean, obviously, it's probably near impossible to watch this movie without having a certainty that there's supernatural stuff happening. But for most of its runtime, you know, if it wasn't called The Exorcist, you'd be like, all right, so maybe it's just a bunch of serial killers, you know?
Yeah.
It plays as a thriller that way, and I think that's also part of what makes it really cool. What do you make of this nurse, Alex?
She doesn't appreciate the tone that he approaches her with, that's for sure.
Does she grow on you as the movie goes on?
She's a memorable character, I'll say that much.
I think she gets a somewhat sympathetic scene later on, if I remember correctly, but we'll see. I remember when the first time I watched it, I'm like, what's their problem? Like, does she realize that he's actually trying to solve a crime here?
Just anybody in the hallway?
Who is
Oh,
that
boy.
guy? Who is that flasher?
The role of this doctor in the remake would be played by Matt Walsh, Father Pat, you know?
Yes.
The growling, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think the first of the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movies is the opposite in a way of this movie. I don't know if did you ever watch it?
No.
Well, I'm gonna spoil it for you.
Oh boy.
Only that. I mean, that movie's obviously it's a mystery. It's a Sherlock Holmes story, so there's the whole movie is about him investigating, trying to figure something out, and but because you're watching the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes, and it was the first one, you don't know what he's gonna do. So the entire main conflict is that Sherlock Holmes is trying to investigate the thing that looks like it had to do with magic. Like the bad guy, like does he have special powers, superpowers? And like if it was a book, right? If you were reading that story, you'd be like, oh no, it's because Sherlock Holmes lives in the real world. So at the end, there'll be some outrageous explanation, but there would be an explanation. But because it's a Guy Ritchie movie, you're like, I don't know, maybe he did decide that his Sherlock Holmes is going to fight a magician, a wizard. But then at the very end of the movie, in classic Sherlock Holmes fashion, they explain everything. Holmes figures everything out and he explains how, no, none of it was magic. Everything had an explanation. And this movie is the opposite. This movie is like, he's doing his cop work and he's trying to assemble it with logic and, do the due diligence of narrowing down the suspects and trying to figure out how everything matters. But then at the end, the resolution is like, nope, it's magic. It's a horror movie.
Doctor's smoking, by the way.
Carrying.
We're in 1990 here. It's crazy.
It's carrying the tradition from the first movie.
Exactly.
Oh, this doctor, this Matt Walsh character, in the remake, he actually has a big part, right? This is the guy that later has like an awesome scene where he's rehearsing his lies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, Matt Walsh gets a meaty role here.
So now we're in the catacombs, the the fucking top security. Got to have your 4-digit pin to get in and out, that type of shit.
Yeah, it's Langley in the first Mission Impossible.
Yes.
George C. Scott is going to descend, hanging from a cable. Alex, no, it's not Matt Walsh. Do you know who's going to play that guy?
Who's that?
I don't remember the name of the actor, but he is in Pain and Gain and he's in Showgirls. And we brought him up before.
Oh, what a deep cut. Yeah, I don't remember his name either, but he's got like red hair.
Yeah. Same facial structure. Now, do you remember when you figured out that this guy was Jason Miller?
The first time, no. Like the first time I watched the movie, I was like, what the fuck? Just trying to figure it out.
So, of course, I don't remember. Oh, man, this guy is a dick.
He's the hospital lawyer, right?
Yeah. So the lawyer, the director. I don't know, but yeah, person of power. I realize I don't remember exactly what the deal is with the director's cut, but basically it has to do with the Father Karras character. So I think there maybe the director's cut doesn't have Jason Miller playing that part at all. It might be Brad Dourif the entire time.
Interesting.
But I think the reason that they're both playing the part here in this movie is because Jason Miller, I didn't know this until I listened to John from The Pint talking about it, but I guess Jason Miller was an alcoholic and
yes,
he was in pretty bad shape when they were doing this movie, so he's having trouble remembering his lines. And so they grabbed the performance from Brad Dourif to kind of like fill in the gaps to boost the character, so they wouldn't rely only on Jason Miller's performance. I think that's what happened. So that's like one of the biggest changes in the director's cut. I think that you just don't see Jason Miller.
Interesting. Like at all?
At all. Yeah. I think
wow.
Yeah, it's just Brad Dourif the entire time.
Which, I mean, Dourif is pretty good in this, so. Shut your mouth! Oh, man, he misses his friend.
He lost it. He lost his composure. And now the director's like, oh, well, now that's awkward.
Balrog, dipping his head. Sorry, that was a little inappropriate.
Joshi Scott is from, an older generation. Men are not supposed to show their feelings like this. Yeah, he's about to drop some truth.
Saying the Gemini's MO that was told to the press was wrong.
Which is pretty smart.
It is. But the problem is now this body he's found had the actual markings of the Gemini killer. At the palm of his hand.
the director's paying attention now.
Yeah, Fritz von Erich teaching his kids how to do the Iron Claw. Here. Oh, I didn't remember that detail. Yep.
It all matches.
Kevin.
Do you think this movie? It's a dumb question, but I just can't. Like, he's so good. George C. Scott is so good
Yeah, it's crazy.
that I'm like, would the movie work with just a lesser actor? Because you can arguably say, he didn't need to go this hard. I am glad he did, but
you would be right too. Like that's part of the reason this movie's so good. This fucking greasy dude over here now. He looks like someone I just can't put my finger on it. But yeah, we've already come across fucking 2 or 3 scenes in this where I've thought to go ahead and say my piece of like the reason this movie is so good is how much George C. Scott is giving it. Because you're absolutely right. He didn't have to give it this much. I mean, he does. His effort is met later on in this movie when Brad Dourif comes around, because Brad Dourif obviously goes for it here.
Yeah. I guess it's just a matter of, not that it matters, right? But I'm like, is this a good movie or is it an okay movie with a great performance?
That's fair. That's fair. See, this is some bullshit. George C. Scott got nominated for a Golden Raspberry for this.
What?
Yeah.
Man, that might be the most egregious out of in all 10,
It's
11
pretty
years
bad.
now of podcasting that we've had. That's the worst call on the Golden Raspberries. I'm guessing he didn't win.
He lost to Andrew Dice Clay for The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie.
I know the lore. I know.
Rennie Harlan directed it.
Well, he answered the phone. Here we go. It's been a while since we've referenced the first movie, so
Yeah.
let's go back to it.
Got to remind people. The people who went on a date to this, who weren't alive during the first Exorcist. Who the fuck is Damien Karras?
Reagan, the president? The because I don't know when it would come up, but the other big difference with the director's cut is that the director's cut doesn't have the exorcism at the end. In fact, if I understood correctly, there's no subplot with that priest that ends up performing the exorcism at the end. That's something that was added to the movie because I guess the producers were like, dude, it's called The Exorcist III, so we need to have an exorcism. But the original, the director's cut, is more true to the novel because it's based on another Blatty's books. And
Legion.
I don't remember if the book's called Legion, but I remember the book is also tied into The Exorcist, or if it's just its own thing, and then they adapted it into the Exorcist universe, so to speak. There's a very silly jump scare coming up, and I remember thinking, oh, was that it? Was that the one that people are always talking about?
Oh, was that the one?
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. It was not.
Wonderful shot.
Tremendous.
And it's all like older men. Just remember that the guy
I think that's part of it too, is like it's so different from a 13-year-old girl, you know?
yeah.
It's like, and by and large, until we get to kind of the end, it's it's like a dialogue based movie.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, dialogue driven, as I should say.
Just
Aaron Sorkin, ghost wrote it.
not enough walking.
No.
They'll be doing laps around the church while they're having this conversation in the Sorkin version.
The Country Boy.
Everything is connected, Father. All right, here we go. This felt very not out of place, but when I heard John explain that this was not in the original cut, in the original story, I'm like, that makes so much sense, because this character he comes out of nowhere.
This is true.
But from the moment that you see him, well, at least in my case, I'm like, okay, because obviously George C. Scott is not going to perform an exorcism. And the movie's called The Exorcist III. So there's a pretty good chance that there's going to be an exorcist here somewhere. And then I saw this guy. I'm like, all right, I guess this is him. At some point, he's going to cross paths with George C. Scott.
His bird died.
Yeah. I was going to say Pazuzu's at it again, but it's not Pazuzu anymore, right? There's a different demon?
I think it's...
No, it is
Isn't the
same.
implications... Yeah, it's supposed to be Pazuzu.
Yeah. I don't know if did they call him Pazuzu?
I don't know about in here. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, that's metal as fuck.
I'm sure you've heard of the stories, and I don't know if this ever happened in the States, but in other countries, the Virgin Marys, the statues that cry blood, and how like people are like, oh my God, and they celebrate as a miracle and all that. And I remember always thinking, dude, I'll be terrified. Like, that's not like a good omen. If the Virgin Mary's crying blood, I wouldn't say, oh, praise Jesus. I'll be like, holy shit, there's a demon.
This is not good.
Yeah.
So it's saying her fingerprints, match the killer.
You're faking. You're a faker.
You're lying to me.
It's like I think it's Sherlock Holmes also. When they, the whole thing of once you've gotten rid of everything that's not possible, once you've decided this is not possible, this is not possible, this is not possible, then what remains has to be what happened.
Yeah.
So I can see how, it's her fingerprints. Therefore, she has to be faking. Or, what's the explanation for this lady not, somehow being connected to the murder? Here we go. I like this scene.
The Hanged Man.
I get because the first time I watched it, I was like, man, this guy sucks. And then they reveal that he's rehearsing. I'm like, oh, he's supposed to suck.
The picture of himself in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to test the power of AI here. Asking who is the actor that's in Showgirls and Pain and Gain? Wow.
What's up?
They didn't. This is why AI is not ready yet, man. It's telling me there isn't one single actor in both Showgirls and Pain and Gain. That is bullshit.
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
Give me a minute. I'll find it. This guy's just chain smoking, though, and George C. Scott's eyeing him up and down. He knows something's up.
He's a good cop.
You know.
It's so good because now we get to see him like deliver what he was rehearsing. Yeah. Patrick Bristow, Alex.
Is the actor?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, there he is.
This is it, Alex. This is how he comes back to the mainstream.
That's right.
He has his cheat sheet. Would you be disappointed if this same story, but then at the end, it turns out that everything had an explanation? There was no supernatural stuff.
That's why I think it kind of works so well. It's because everything is very by the books. I'll say this. It's a movie you have to be patient with because if you are patient, you're kind of rewarded with how insane like the culmination is, the climax. But it is a very just procedural, like who done it up until that point. It's crazy. Uh-oh. Now.
Audience favorite.
The nurse.
Nurse Ratched. He's losing it, man.
Oh. That could have been an Oscar clip. It was short enough.
Yeah, he's feeling his age.
God, he's so good.
I mean, you only met once, but okay.
Jumped and or was pushed.
Did he? Did he watch him die? I don't remember.
Is he the one that like approaches him?
maybe right
And
after
see,
it
like,
happens, right?
yeah.
And the audience goes nuts.
It's the that thing that drove us nuts at the Black Adam. Let's go when Superman shows up. Someone who was better at, like, editing could do that, where it's the reveal of Damian Karras and it's that idiot with his phone going nuts in the auditorium.
But this is so that reveal happens right before the end credits.
Yes.
Because God forbid we tell a self-contained story.
No shit. Man, impressive coming from you, that dig. I like it.
Well,
All right, don't backtrack. Just let it stand, all right? Okay. Why does the doctor lie about it again?
Because the doctor is on Pazuzu's payroll.
That's right. He's possessed.
Yeah.
Or he's into it all.
Yeah.
I think I said this in our Exorcist episode. Yes, I momentarily don't like the idea that he made it, or that Father Karras carried on. But I dig this movie, so.
I think that because the movie ends up being good, and especially because I think the movie is about this almost invincible force of evil. And okay, so how do you make an impression beyond, torturing a little girl in the first movie? And it's like, okay, well, you're going to take the hero from the first movie, the beloved character that sacrificed, and put him through hell again. So, the way that they desecrate the image of Father Karras, I think makes a point of just how awful this demon is. And also, I think, make the point that you're kind of on your own. Like, it's having only seen it once, I couldn't tell you specifically how strong the message is at the end. But I remember when it was over, I got the feeling that it was just, we get to that ending and the demon is defeated because of George C. Scott and because of Father Karras, not because there was any divine intervention. And so that's a very bleak view of the world.
Yeah.
And I think that just having Father Karras be punished so badly, so horribly after what he did in the first movie, I mean, that adds to that bleakness that, there's no room for question. Like, this is awful.
He was only 62 when he passed away. Died of a heart attack. That it's believed his alcoholism may have contributed to.
Like, you wouldn't know that he was having trouble performing just from what you see in this movie. I mean, I think he's doing great.
No. Son of a bitch. I never realized Jason Patrick was his son.
Like, Night Owl?
Here we go. Chucky's here. Not Jason Patrick. Who's that? You're thinking of Patrick Wilson.
Who's Jason
Patrick? He was David in The Lost Boys, the lead in The Lost Boys. Or Michael. No, David was Kiefer Sutherland. He's Michael.
Oh, yeah. Speed 2.
That too, yeah. Yeah, I never knew that.
Nepo baby.
Yeah, David is Kiefer. that scene where Kiefer's trying to, come on, Michael, trying to get him to eat the Chinese food and then making it seem as though it's maggots and worms. What's your Brad Dourif experience besides this and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Alien Resurrection.
Oh, duh. You cited that earlier.
He's also in one episode of Babylon 5. I have to call it out so that Ryan doesn't yell at me.
There you go. He also is Sheriff Brackett in Rob Zombie's Halloween movies.
Never, that's never my first choice for anything.
No.
The Rob Zombie filmography is not what comes to mind.
He has one of the few things I could give credit for from an acting perspective in Halloween 2, that when he finds Danielle Harris, his daughter, in the movie killed, the acting there's pretty solid. But then that movie surrounds it. Excuse me.
I always forget that he is in The Lord of the Rings. So I guess I've seen that. And I saw the first Child's Play. So there's that.
I don't know if that's true, what he just said. A decapitated human head can see for 20 seconds afterwards. I don't see how that could be true, and I also don't really want to ponder it.
Well, because you're still sending signals to the brain, right? Like the brain's still in the head. The eyes are in the head.
I guess it would depend on how it happened. If it was, well, we don't need to go down this road.
Just talking about buying his bullshit here.
Different forms of decapitation.
I'm going through his filmography, and this dude gets around.
Brad Dourif?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. On Google, when I searched Jason Miller, this refers to several public figures, most notably the late Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright and actor who died in 2001 of a heart attack, the Trump campaign advisor, parenthetically still active, or the former MMA fighter with legal issues and recent recovery efforts. Jason Mayhem Miller. That's a blast from the past. Yeah, that guy had some screws loose up top.
So in this movie, we're talking about my pet peeve with dream sequences. Another big pet peeve. I have a problem with voiceovers. But when you just let an actor go on a monologue, and I start feeling like, oh yeah, they were so proud, like the writer and then later the actor. I would think of Pacino in Devil's Advocate. That's one of the worst. Mm-hmm. And I probably mentioned it when we did End of Days. When Gabriel Byrne gets to have his monologue there too. Man, got smacked.
Inoki style.
Like the monologue has to be really good, and the performance has to be really good, but also it has to fit in the movie, so it doesn't feel like the movie's coming to a stop just so that the writer and the actor can showboat, and that's usually what happens. This movie walks right up to the line, but I think because they've done such a good job setting it up, you're like, all right, I'll allow it, Brad Dourif, dazzle me. And I think it also helps that, it's not just him, that Jason Miller started this sequence and then, transition into him. Balrog's just guarding the door patiently.
Uh-oh. George C. Scott also went strong style on I said Inoki style with that slap, but ended up breaking Brad Dourif's nose. And now seeing a better movie, this is where love would bloom on the battlefield. But of course, George C. Scott is happily married.
Yeah. He has no time for romance.
And he just flashed that look, though. Look at the eyebrow up. Yeah. And again.
So that's right. I was in Doctor Strangelove.
Back when I was a young man.
This is the scene that I was thinking of with her sympathetic turn for the nurse. I think because she's flirting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so she's describing what happens when he either possesses someone or he, starts controlling them.
Ooh.
She's a good supporting character because she has 2-3 memorable scenes, but then that's it. It's not like she becomes a victim. It's not like she gets killed by the demon, nor does she join to save the day.
No, it's one of the outside of George C. Scott in particular, the strengths of this movie are very pronounced. And I think some of the supporting cast is part of that, but I agree with you that she's particularly good.
Because you think that this scene is about her becoming involved in the investigation.
100%.
But no, I mean, I think that the next time that you see her, she's yelling at him
Great
again,
shot.
and then that's it.
Yeah. That spiral staircase shot was fantastic.
It was also Denny's.
Well, who knows? Back in the day, we used to build distinguished fast food establishments, and then Chipotle had to ruin everything.
We didn't just make real movies, we made real restaurants.
Goddamn right we did. George has noticed something. Mein Kampf? What the hell's this doing here?
I don't remember what this is.
I don't either, but look at him. I'm intrigued because look at his face. He's I'm like, well, what are you reading, George? Oh, what's the separation? The red is the Old Testament.
Oh, is that what it is?
I believe so.
Look at Father Brent Spiner here.
The remake, Stephen Lang would play the Exorcist.
But he looks exactly like he does in Avatar.
Oh, jacked. Just jacked. And and he wears like the tank top and fatigues and shit, but it has the priest collar on. Oh, okay. I knew it was something like that. And again, forgive me, any of our devout Christian listeners. The Old Testament's not in red. In some versions of the Bible, the words spoken by God in the Old Testament are in red. Jesus's words are in red in the New Testament. So what he was reading, I knew the red had some distinguish. It was distinguished in some way. So
That makes sense.
Yeah. Brad Dourif's headshot. Look at my ring. Okay, here we go. This is the shot this movie is most known for, and with good cause.
Is this the same shot where the jump scare happens?
Yes, it's a long shot.
Oh, so it never changes this framing? I don't remember.
No. Yeah.
Man. I think earlier, just like a scene ago, when his daughter wakes up to get a snack, I remember thinking, oh, is this where it's going to happen? Is this a jump scare? Nope. So that means that as soon as you saw this setup, you knew because you had seen it already and the shutter thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I didn't know how long this shot was. So it made me appreciate it more just because, even though it was kind of spoiled for me, what I love to do with imagining myself, opening weekend in the theater during this and like, what's going on here? Because again, with the exception of that one thing you called out earlier, it's not like a slasher movie that up until this point has existed off the idea of jump scares,
Yeah.
And the point is, if you're paying attention at this point, you understand the killer could be anyone and be anywhere and get out any way they want. So obviously the tension is building. It's just such a strange movie that way. Because like I said, so much the shot before this is just George C. Scott, studying the case at his desk.
Yeah.
And it's such a fascinating mix of procedural murder mystery and horror that you don't see all too often. Prisoners is obviously a good example of that too.
No demons in that one. Okay, so they did cut that because I was like, how does she get to see the doctor? And yeah, that's because you needed a change in setup.
Yeah, my bad. I thought it was, but it obviously settled on that shot for a minute.
Yeah. So the Nurse Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
I mean, we're back to it.
Yeah. Took a brief pit stop and now we're back at it.
To distract people. They're like, this is a jump scare.
Yeah, that's a pretty classic trope.
I'm just waiting for it.
Just a little jumpy, that's all.
Now we're like, oh, nothing bad's going to happen because the cop's right there. People in the theater are like, oh no. They're leaving her alone.
Gotta turn that light off.
Man, you're
Cop leaves.
This goes on forever. You're right.
Oh, baby. Head lobbed off.
It's like, what's the point of having cops in the building?
George C. Scott should have just beat the shit out of that cop that was supposed to be watching her.
Right?
Fucking Matt Simber over here from when he produced Glow. That's where I got the Mark Maron thing, because that's what I was thinking of it looked like. It looks like fucking Matt Simber.
Give me the veggies. There we go. He's in trouble now.
Other materials. Yep. What a shot.
Man, that poor guy got like a half a second shot of his death.
Yeah. John Keating? Bolo? So Brad Dourif, yeah, his character is who they apprehended as the Gemini killer, correct?
Yes. It is something else that, to the credit of the movie, the explanation of what happened doesn't take you out of the movie, because it's pretty ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But they've done such a good job, setting everything up. They're like, all right, what else could it be? Yeah. So he went to the electric chair, and then as he was dying, Father Karras was also dying, and Pazuzu's buddies, like, they took
United them as one.
Yeah, they took the spirit of the Gemini killer and put him in the body of Father Karras. But I don't think that they put Father Karras in the body of the Gemini killer. I think that they're both inside the body of Father Karras.
Yeah. Certain parties were not pleased.
So actually, yeah, they probably don't mention Pazuzu. Maybe he does. Because he's never talking to Pazuzu. He's talking to the Gemini killer.
I mean, I don't know if we ever know that George C. Scott believes in this bullshit. He's just like, my old brain's playing tricks on me.
I don't know, man. By the end of the climax.
Yeah, when he's getting thrown around the room and shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he probably believes that. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's still. That's the whole point. That's why they're killing the people that they're killing. Except that last nurse that he killed, as far as I can tell, she has no connection to Father Karras. Like everybody else, every other victim had a connection.
But he did. That's the first thing he said, though, to George C. Scott was, "Did you get my message?"
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Brad Dourif is solid in this. We, in the history of our talking about movies, Julio, we've had a whole lot of fun with the look into the scope of the camera and deliver exposition trope.
Yeah.
But at no point in any of that was I like giggling or anything. We've talked about a character looking into the scope and looking at you, the audience, is in the wrong hands can make you go fuck off and just turn on the movie.
Yeah, that was one of my early lessons. I remember going to film school. Something that never even occurred to me, but I couldn't even tell you which movie was it, where we saw somebody break the fourth wall, and the teacher said, like, "See that? You gotta be careful with that." Because
he's right.
Yeah, somebody staring right at the camera, looking at you, that is a powerful tool, and it can definitely take you out of the movie.
Jelly.
Yep. Now, the thing is, this is where it benefits the connection to the first Exorcist and it being Father Karras, because everything he describes about Father Karras hits harder again, because we know him from the first movie. So you could have this movie be just like a standalone thriller, but it definitely is stronger, I think, because it has those connections to the first Exorcist.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine, Alex, if instead of Father Brent Spiner, the character performing the exorcism in this movie was Richard Burton?
Oh no.
Would you go like fuck off, or would you be like, they retroactively they made Exorcist 2 better?
I mean, you and I would have fun with that whole premise, but this movie makes an extremely conscious effort to completely redact. What's the word I'm looking for? Retcon.
Yes.
The Exorcist 2.
So he spent the last 15 years rebuilding the body to where he could kill again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So it's not that something specific triggered his awakening, but instead it took 15 years, because that's how long it took for him to start killing again, to be able to control the body.
He was just stuck inside.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That is so weird that anybody could watch this and go, yeah, we're going to nominate George C. Scott for Golden Raspberry.
I would agree.
Like, out of everybody, like, even I like Brad Dourif, but I'm like, if you're going to give it to someone, wouldn't Dourif be the obvious target? Because he's just so hammy, like in the best way. Like, it works because he's a demon and he's obviously relish in putting on a show. But if anybody's performance was going to rub somebody the wrong way, I would think it would be Brad Dourif's.
Yeah, I would agree. He's so tired. I'm so tired of partying.
What's his mom call him? Demi? Demi?
Damn me.
Demi.
The growling.
Yeah. Man, they got the most out of this set. Or do you think it's a real
Dude,
hospital?
no shit. Let's see. He's piecing it together.
Yeah. Okay, so he is, from what he said, I think he is possessing them. He's just a traveling man.
So again, the temple, the lead doctor, how does he play into it then?
He scared them. He was saying that he just basically committed suicide because he couldn't take it anymore. But I guess he just scared him. I mean, he must have figured out what was happening and then was forced into helping him because of the threats.
Mm-hmm.
But then decided to kill himself. Oh man, there's the Spider Woman.
That was pretty shocking the first time I saw it. I was like, oh, wait, what? And that shot is awesome right there.
It was like, in case you were wondering if she was really paralyzed, which I guess, she could be, but now when she's possessed, she's not. It's just fun that nobody notices.
Could have used a reaction shot of George. Ah!
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
I said they're dropping like flies in the hospital. But no, he says that that the doctor killed himself because he just couldn't handle it anymore, which makes me wonder if, what did he ask him that made the guy say, okay, I can't, I'm going to kill myself instead. And maybe the original plan was for that doctor to go after George C. Scott's daughter. But maybe he just had enough.
God almighty. I might have literally just said this, but yeah, this was filmed on location in Georgetown, so I assume that was a real hospital, yeah. The first time I saw it, I do remember getting like kind of, tight chested and tensed up here.
Yeah. Like, what's going to happen?
Oh.
Here we go. Time to go all running. French Connection.
Mount the curb.
So you're saying when you were watching, you were like, okay, there's a 50% chance that they kill his daughter or somebody in his family?
It was one of those things at this point, the first time I watched it, I was so like into it that I didn't really have like, which is very rare these days with me, is that my brain completely allows me to just be kind of in the moment and like, oh my God, what's going to happen? So, but yeah, I was definitely nervous. Tremendous series of shots here. I think the story from, I don't have near the amount of knowledge of this as I do the production of the original Exorcist, but that was kind of the thing about him, is he has a very clear idea of what he wants, and it's hard to sometimes compromise with that guy. Again, that, I don't know him personally, but that was kind of the impression I got from a lot of stuff I read surrounding the first one. And you can see a lot of the things that, were included in the later versions of The Exorcist through this, in terms of like just shots and cinematically. And yeah, some of this might meander, but man, it's a good looking film. Damn me. Of course, George lives on a cul-de-sac. Weapons drawn.
No.
George is packing. He's got his piece out. Like, that shot was gorgeous.
Put the gun away. You're going to scare the neighbors. All right, so I'm looking forward to this shot where I guess the grandma saves the girl, because I don't think it's that great. We've been praising how the movie looks, but
Yeah, that looked very like Friday the 13th-ish.
the movie's so good, I'll forgive it. But come on, there has to have been a better way of shooting it.
Oh shit.
Here's further reshoots. Okay, well, it has to be Pazuzu speaking then.
Yeah, there's a credit for this movie that has voice of Pazuzu.
Legion, I'm guessing it refers to the multiple beings, spirits, whatever, residing inside that body. So there's Farakaras, there's a Gemini killer, there's Pazuzu.
So do you know how it was supposed to end without an exorcism?
I don't know that they went into detail, but basically So forget about this guy. It's just George C. Scott goes and confronts him and kills him. So probably like, a much more toned down or pared down version of what happens here. Because, George C. Scott shows up and this guy, the Father Morning, is out of the fight already.
Ooh.
Man, I'm really into this Richard Burton alternate story. It'd be
Cobra.
like Andrew Garfield coming back to redeem Amazing Spider-Man 2.
When it's put that way, I know you're into it. He who commands you.
I mean, this guy, they got him after the movie was supposedly done.
Oh.
So he knew everything. They told him, we're bringing you in so you can put the exorcism in The Exorcist.
Yeah.
That's literally your
was
function.
Sick. Oh,
there's the gore.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I forgot about that. Oh, fuck.
But again, when it's reshoots, you're like, that makes sense because that is so much gorier than anything else in the movie.
Yeah, it has no tone consistency. He's like, hold on. Smells like someone died in here recently.
Okay, so this could just be the ending. You know what I mean? Like, forget what we just saw with the priest.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I guess you would have to get rid of these shots.
Oh, man. God, that's a hell of a gun there George is touting.
Good guy with a gun.
Jesus. You're free.
This is his Oscar clip, Alex.
It's true. That's where it cuts off, and then it shows a clip of him in the audience, and the applause. George C. Scott, Exorcist III.
His wife squeezes his hand. You got this in the bag, baby.
Trying to think of like who would be behind him that does like the hand on the shoulder, like
Brad Dourif.
Good job, man. Yeah, it's fucking Blatty.
Now, was that necessary?
Oh, well, yes, because look, they want to drag him down. It's a sick ass shot. Oh, that is. I don't like it. I don't like it. What the? Damn me. There's fucking 4 oars for a paddle, or excuse me, a canoe. Yeah, I thought so. The year this would have been eligible for anything was the year Dances with Wolves took everything up.
America was not in the mood. Okay, so I guess you could say that the crucifix and, Father Mourning maybe gives Father Karras the strength to fight back for like a second.
Oh. I do like that, though. Because it's the same ending in a sense, as the first one where Karras.
Oh man, so doing the double tap. He did, cold-blooded.
Oh man.
I mean, I guess he chooses to sacrifice himself again, right? Because he could have just, instead of telling him to kill him, he could have just said something else. Bill, shoot me in the leg.
Shoot me in the shoulder. I can get workman's comp the rest of my life.
Man. Yeah, I agree. Or rather, I doubled down on my feelings from the first time I watched it, which is just that, like, the first movie tells you that, I think the first movie leans more towards telling you, like, it's okay, right? God will give you enough power to overcome. And I guess you could say that this one says the same thing, but I think this one is more of a you have to save yourself. And maybe, the belief in God can give you strength to overcome, but not necessarily God intervening. Because that's like, what saves the day here is just that the Father Mourning gets Father Karras' attention for, a split second and gives him enough strength to take over the body for, just enough to get shot. So it wasn't the power of prayer, or at least not in the sense that you would expect it. And that coupled with the big Oscar speech where George C. Scott is telling you all the things that he believes in, like all the negative stuff. And the movie doesn't prove him wrong, really.
No. As we go through the credits here, before we give our final scores, little piece of trivia to take us home. Blatty offered directorial responsibilities to John Carpenter. Carpenter was initially interested, but eventually backed out of creative differences. In the book John Carpenter, The Prince of Darkness, Carpenter explained his reasons for not directing the film. I met with Blatty over the course of a week, perhaps a week and a half. He had director approval, so he was testing and probing me to find out who I was and how smart I was and whether or not I should direct the film. I was ambivalent about the script primarily because it didn't have an exorcism. Our time together was a lot of fun. We talked about everything. I kept suggesting a third act exorcism and pushing the both of us to come up with some new exciting and grotesque devil gags. Blatty was resistant. He wanted to direct it and wanted to stay very close to his novel. I respected Blatty, figured out that he really wanted badly to direct the picture and felt that I couldn't get what I needed. So I withdrew from The Exorcist III. And as part of the stipulations with his deal for it to direct the movie, he got to shoot it on location. So that's why they filmed in Georgetown. So
years later, John Carpenter sits at the theater to watch Exorcist III, and he goes, "Imagine my surprise when there is an exorcism in the third act." He's like, that son of a bitch compromised.
Son of a bitch did it. We've had a discussion throughout this of our quarrels with the film here and there, and obviously an interesting tale of the production and, the changes that were made. But I think this movie is excellent. So much so, I think on Letterboxd I gave it 4.5 stars, which I think might have just been a reaction to just how much I enjoyed it upon first viewing. I think I might have sobered a little bit since then, but I still think this is great. This is like A- B+ territory for me. Julio, what do you think about it?
I gave it 4 stars the first time I watched it. I think I'm gonna stay with 4 stars. It's great in close contrast with Exorcist 2. It's even more impressive.
Yeah, watching those back to back the way we have really accents how this shines.
Yeah, I think the problems, like there's some very obvious problems, but the movie is so good overall that I just don't mind that they shoehorned an exorcism. But it's even more noticeable the second time around because
it really is. Yeah,
it's just there, and
especially the gore thing. It's like, wait, what are we doing? Yeah. This dude's skin's getting ripped off. Did I change the channel on accident?
Yeah. I am curious about the director's cut, not curious enough to pay for it. So I'm going to wait until someday it'll be streaming for free. But just because I'm in theory, the director's cut would fix at least that part. If there's no exorcism, then maybe it plays better. But I don't know how much they tone down. Is it completely grounded to where you don't even see the lightning bolts and the floor being destroyed, or is it just it's that but without the other priest, without Father Mourning? I don't know. I'm curious.
The priest never shows up. George C. Scott just walks down the hallway and shoots him in the head. That's what happened.
I mean, I'm down. I'm pretty sure that George C. Scott can sell it. I would miss not having Jason Miller show up, alternate with.
I agree.
That's a nice touch. But yeah, this is great. It's not the first movie, even though it has enough connections to it, and I think that makes it a successful sequel. And yeah, 4 stars. Do you think, Alex, that somebody can sit down and watch this without having watched the first one and appreciate it as much as we do?
I think so. I think it's I've said before, one of my theses, and I've about this movie that I've talked with other people. It didn't tank. It had an $11 million budget and made $44 million. I think this movie had a better chance to succeed both critically and commercially. If it wasn't called The Exorcist 3.
Because it had the Exorcist 2 stank.
Yeah, and also it's just one of those things like Halloween 3 is a great example. And it'll probably happen with this. We're 5-10 years away from this being heralded as like some misunderstood classic the way people talk about Halloween 3 now,
Yeah, I can see that. The blessing and the curse of being an entry in a big franchise. I don't think we ever get away from Pazuzu now that, we're watching him chronologically and back to back somewhat. So I just realized like it's back to the beginning in the next one. And then, I don't know, maybe the fifth one is a different demon. I don't remember. But I think we're also doing the director's cut. No, I mean, I think we're doing the director's, no theatrical, on the next one.
Yeah. There's Exorcist the Beginning and Dominion prequel to The Exorcist.
Which one is the one that's free to stream? Dominion, right?
I don't know. Rennie Harlan directed one of them.
Yeah, that's a theatrical.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Those are, from what I understand, drastically different. And the one that I've already seen is Dominion, which was pretty interesting. Don't want to spoil anything for you other than what I've already told you, which is Stellan Skarsgård is in it as a young Father Merrin. What else do you need? Nothing else.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but this has been The Exorcist 3. If you're actually listening to this on Christmas Day, God fucking bless and Merry Christmas. If you're catching this in as an adult, probably the most wonderful week of the year is the one between Christmas and New Year's, where most places of employment will have no expectation for you. So
you're at your office listening to us talk about The Exorcist 3 while The Exorcist 3 plays on one of your monitors. The American dream.
So a belated Merry Christmas and early Happy New Year, what have you. But thanks for listening, y'all. Yeah,
thank you for listening. And 2 more to go. So just get ready.
Take care.
That summer of